that the 2020 elections were both above reproach and continues to shower praises on themselves and attack anyone who shared divergent views on the elections. DC, being a major stakeholder in the democracy and governance of Ghana, reserve the right to comment eschewing acts that bring the name of the commission into disrepute. Ladies and gentlemen, and propaganda in the attempt to save their blushes and that of their puppet master in the NPP. We also take note with amusement. In one breath, the EC says it does not account to any individual and presidential candidate, but account to the citizens know, which essentially meant he was attempting to account to the people of Ghana. The lack of gravitas, finesse, and appropriate the authority, dignity, composure, and comportment with which their forebears like Messrs. Afarijan, David Denzi Kanga, Safo Kantanka, and Charlotte Osei brought to that high office. Now to some specific issues raised in the press conference. Number one, the voters' register. It is scandalous for the Electoral Commission to state that it compiled a new voters' register and conduct elections within 6 months. This was in complete disregard for Article 2, Clause 1 of the ECOWAS Protocol on Democracy and Good Governance, which states that no substantial modification shall be made to the electoral laws of a member country in the last 6 months before an election. Indeed, the Electoral Commission's attention was drawn to this by the NDC and civil society organizations, but the EC blatantly disregarded same and went ahead to engage in a reckless and wasteful exercise of compiling a new register in the face of the deadly COVID-19 pandemic. This is nothing to be proud of, as it brings Ghana's name into disrepute in the Committee of Nations. And ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of ECOWAS is His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And he goes around ECOWAS countries flaunting the ECOWAS and principles contained in the ECOWAS Covenant on Good Governance. And yet, in his own country, the same covenant was being flouted with impunity for his benefit. And yet, he never saw anything wrong with that. Come out boldly to say that they must be congratulated for flouting the ECOWAS protocol, to respect that same protocol. That the compilation of the new voters register was at the behest of President Akufo-Addo and his MPP, who had waged a baseless and unfounded campaign against the previous voters register, voters to register. For the first time in the history of voter registration exercise, 2 young men, Silas and Lambert, were murdered in cold blood, and several others maimed, I beg your pardon. A current cabinet minister of the MPP government, Madam Hawa Kumsin, together with her tax, went on rampage, firing guns indiscriminately. Again, several other innocent citizens were injured, beaten, molested, and harassed. Can you take a look at what happened on these 2 occasions? Mission to correct such anomalies. Claim at the Bosman Asari Press and in the being alone on this position Some of Ghana's most respected and credible civil society organizations have been at the forefront of exposure of corrupt and in the procurement processes mentioned above. For instance, in a detailed and widely circulated report issued by Imani Africa, it estimated that up to 150 million the subsequently 20 elections. We wish to remind next credible, non-partisan electoral commission parliament. Parliament knows what to approve and for what purpose, and therefore we leave the determination of how cost-effective the 2020 money from the election. Why has the commission not paid temporary staff recruited both for district level elections held in 2019 to estimate, to say that since the EC has continually peddled falsehood, we of some of the officials recruited during the 2019 district elections, the 2020 registration exercise,